Hi there, I'm Lorraine Prokopiou, physiotherapist and Pilates instructor. I'm going to do a kind of intermediate level reformer class today, a little workout here. I'm working on an Align Pilates A8 Pro reformer, and this reformer has a tower attached, but I won't be actually using that directly today. So I'm going to start down on the reformer just with a kind of mat work-ish warm up to get us going. So I've got on this particular reformer a fairly strong setup ready for footwork. I've got 2 red and 1 green. So I'm just going to come on down, lie down onto the carriage, settling yourself into the center and rest the insteps onto the foot bar. Feel the thighs dropping into the sockets and just take a couple of breaths. Just letting yourself rest into the carriage, bringing your focus into the body, just getting ready to move and control your movement as you're working through. Feeling the neutral pelvis, and on your next inhale, allow one knee to drop out to the side, and then as you exhale, return it back to the center. And let's keep that going, alternating sides here. Just an easy movement through the ball and socket joint of the hip, and the pelvis stays neutral as you're working. So again, controlling the pelvis, movement through the ball and socket joint of the hip. I'm just going to do one more here and bring it back into the center. And then I'm going to bring the one leg into tabletop and exhale, reach and straighten that leg, and then bend the knee and pull back in. So I'm just gently drawing my tummy muscles up and in as I control the reach of the leg. Lengthening through the spine, lengthening through the leg, always controlling. Bring it back into the center, release to the other side, exhale away, inhale to control back in again. So just again, getting a slow level sense of connection into the abdominals as the long leg reaches away. And I've got one more here, reach and bring the leg back in, and then land back down onto the foot bar. Thinking about a pelvic tilt now, so I'm going to roll the pelvis back and gently drawing my tummy muscles in, and then release the pelvis back to a neutral position. So there's a nice small movement here, just thinking about the abdominals to create that tilt through the pelvis, and then the coccyx drops back towards the mat. And I'm just going to do one more here. And then I'm going to keep going and come into a bridge. So roll the pelvis back, push down through the feet. Your carriage stays still as you drive up into a bridge position. And then melt the ribs down. One vertebra at a time hits the mat. Try and press the low back through the carriage there. And then release that pelvis back to a neutral position. We're going to do 2 more here. Rolling through the spine, taking your time. Nice strong work through the glutes to lift your pelvis. Control all the way back down. Oh, it feels nice just moving the spine there. Let's go one more here. Rolling up into that bridge position. Nice. Easy long neck. And control back down again. Once your pelvis has landed, check back into that neutral position. Connect, make sure those heels are connected to the foot bar. And then we're going to start pushing the carriage up and down. I'm just going to readjust my feet a little bit there. There we go. So just making sure you've got that strong connection. You feel like you're not going to slide off. You're firing up your quads as you're working, straightening and controlling back in again. And one more there, and then bring it back. Let's put those 2 together. So bridge, roll up to your bridge, hold at the top, push the carriage away, and as you do that, you're going to drop the pelvis to a hover, bend the knees to control back in again, and then roll slowly back down through the spine and releasing to neutral. And we're going to go again, rolling up through the spine, hold at the top, push the carriage away, bend the knees to return, and then roll back down again. So if you're wanting to work the breath here, we're going to exhale as we roll up to a bridge. Inhale, pause to the top. Exhale, push the carriage away. Inhale, return the carriage, and then exhale, roll all the way down. Inhale, releasing back to neutral. We're going to go one more round. Exhale for the bridge. Inhale, hold. Exhale, press away. Inhale, return. And then exhale all the way down. And just inhale, releasing that pelvis back to a neutral position. We're going to take a hamstring stretch next. Grab the back of one thigh, head the leg towards a straight position, and just feel that hamstring stretch there. And then add a little ankle circle on the end. Reverse that circle. And then we'll flex the foot, straighten the knee a little harder, and drop that sit bone towards the carriage for a bigger stretch there. And then release. Let's do the other side. Grab the back of that thigh, head the leg towards a straight-ish position, as long as you're feeling the stretch in the back of the thigh there. And then add your circles and a reverse. And then flex the foot a little harder, straighten the knee a little harder, and see if you could drop that sit bone towards the mat so you get this lovely length from the heel to the sit bone there. Lovely. And then we're going to land that foot back down, and we're going to bring the arms up, just take them out wide and just hold for a little stretch there, and then roll both knees over to one side. Let that hip lift. Nice easy twist through the body. And then we're just going to do one more onto the other side, just so enjoy it while you're there, feeling that lovely stretch. Bringing it back into the center, and then bring the arms up and release them down by your hips. We'll just take a couple of ab preps here, getting ready for some work coming later. So tuck the chin, lift the head, lift the shoulders, look to your thighs, and then hold, and then release back down again. And let's do that again, tucking that chin, head and shoulders lift, pressing the breastbone down into the belly, and then releasing back down again. And we've got one more, lifting up, reaching long, trying to keep the pelvis neutral if you can. Release back down onto the mat. Bring your legs into a tabletop position, and we're going to lift the head, lift the shoulders, and then we're going to reach the legs long and pull them back in again. And keep that coming. Now you could, if you find this a bit strong, you could work a single leg if you prefer. You do the other one just to make me even. Good, and then I'm going to reach everything and then land everything back down again and land the feet. Just take a little pause here. And then we're going to go one more round, but this time we're going to work up to our coordination. So tabletop with the legs. Lift the head, lift the shoulders, hold. Bend your elbows into this position. 90 degrees bend, here we go. Everything straightens, and then we just bend the knees, and then we just bend the elbows. Let's do that again. So everything straightens at once, then the knees come in, and then the elbows bend. So that's why it's called coordination. Everything goes, then just the knees, and then just the elbows. And we're just going to do one more here. Everything reaches, just the knees, just the elbows, and then land everything back down again. Reset, and let's get cracking on our footwork. So we're going to take this into a footwork now. So bringing the heels together, toes apart. So I'm into this sort of Pilates V, Pilates first position. And I'm just going to press the carriage up and down. Pushing out against the foot bar, working the springs, zipping up the inner thighs as the knees straighten. Nice and controlled as you're bringing the carriage back in. Just one more here. And a return. We go into wrap toes next. So let the feet come together, drape the toes over the foot bar, and then pressing up and down here. You're trying to just keep the toes draping over as best you can. It's quite a nice stretch through the toes, but try and avoid gripping for too much. And the heels adjust comfortably in space for this one. Last two. And one, and a return. We bring the heels up, knees and feet stay together. We're into the heels now, and we're just pressing up and down here. So you're keeping the toes facing the sky. It's almost as if you are standing on the floor. So there's a little bit of dorsiflexion through the feet there. Feeling the quads working as you straighten, pushing up to the springs and controlling those springs as you return the carriage. This is the last one here. And then we come into a high half toe. So now you're standing on your tippy toes, pressing the carriage up and controlling back in. We'll do a few more here. Try and think about keeping your heels still in space as you push up and down. Then we'll make a change. We're going to push up, stay here, reach the heels under control underneath the foot bar, back up onto the toes and then bend the knees and bring it back in again. This time we're going to do 2, so reaching the heels and up, and 1 more, reach the heels and up and a return. We go again for 3, 2, and 1, up onto the toes and then bring it back in again. We go again, we're going to go for 4 here. Nice and controlled as you're working. Feel the work through the calves and just remember you've got to control that reach of the heels. Back up onto the toes, bend the knees and pull it back in. We're going to go back down. So press the carriage up. We're going for 3 now. 2 and 1. Back up, return. We've got 2 now. 2 and 1. And last round for 1. Pressing up, reach the heels. Back up again and then bend the knees and bring it all the way home. Give those legs a little shake off and pivot around, come into a sitting position. We're going to change up the springs for some single leg. So I'm going to drop that green off and keep my 2 red. Check I've got my straps ready because I shall need those a little bit later. So I'm going to come on down onto my back again, straight into some single leg work now. Heels are lining up with the sit bones, 1 leg tabletop, pressing up and down, just controlling the carriage with that pressing leg, keeping the other leg into your tabletop position. Let's go to bicycle next. So you're going to reach that free leg away as you push the carriage in. So you get this bicycle action, this reciprocal action of the legs as the carriage moves. 1 more here, and then we're going to go développé. So push up and hold, and then reach that foot to the sky. Straight for it. We're going to tap the foot bar, flex both feet, and then you bend that top leg and reach away. Let's do it again. Bend, reach to the sky, tap the foot bar, flex both feet, and then bend, reach away. 2 more rounds. Tap the foot bar first, then flex both feet, and then bend and reach. So there's a nice stretch here, then we control as you tap the foot bar, feel the stretch as you flex, and then bend and reach away. There we go. Right, let's do the other side. So heels lining up with the sit bones again, tabletop, pressing up and down as you're going here. Nice. Strong through the center, just to control. Sometimes it's a challenge just to keep that leg still. We're going to take this into bicycle now, so reaching that free leg over the foot bar, pressing up and down, controlling again through the center as you're doing this reciprocal action. Take it to développé, bend, reach to the sky, tap the foot bar, flex both feet, and then bend and reach away. Go again, reach to the sky, control through the abdominals as you tap that leg, extra stretch as you flex, reach away. Let's do 2 more. Reach, tap, flex, press away. Last one. Reach, tap, flex, and press away. Back into the stopper. Scoot away from the shoulder rests and pick up your straps. Ready for the 100. So we're going to bring the hands into the straps. Bring into the, I've got sort of an option here, so I've taken the shorter loops. Bring your legs to a tabletop position. Press down nice and firmly into those straps. Reach the legs. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. So you can keep the legs out, reaching out, or you can bend the knees in on the inhale and exhale to reach the legs away, which I think is always a nice option. Try and keep the carriage as still as you can as you pump those arms, bending in, controlling away. Good. Bending in on the inhales. Exhale, reach away. Let's give it one more round. Bend. And exhale as you reach away. Nice. Bend, reach everything back, and land back onto the foot bar, onto the stopper there. Right, we're going to go feet in straps now, so I'm going to choose to use my longer loop, pushing up half of the way. One foot comes in, press into that, and then bring the other foot in. I'm going to do just a bend and stretch here, so I'm going to bend the knees and then reach and straighten the legs. Bend, control the carriage in, and then reach and straighten the legs. So letting the thighs drop into the sockets as you come in. You're trying to keep your pelvis into a neutral position. And then let's try some short spine prep. So I'm just going to keep this kind of 90-degree angle at my knees, 90-degree angle at my hips, and then roll the pelvis back. Allow the straps to help me lift my tail off. Use the tummy muscles to press back down and bring the back to where you started. So let's just do some of those. This is a nice exercise in and of itself, just like a reverse curl. Drawing your tummy muscles in and controlling the pull of the straps. Use the tummy muscles and buttocks to push back away. Let's go one more here. And then release. Push the legs away and hold. We'll keep the pelvis down now as we bend and stretch again in this turn out position. So it's like your pliés in first. Bending the knees, reaching the legs away. We'll do two more here. And then we're going to bend and hold. We're going to do some stag prep now. So keep the carriage still as you reach one leg out to the side and then bend and bring it back to the plie position again. And let's do that again. One leg out to the side, return. Controlling through there's a bit of push through the straps to hold you still. I'm going to go one more each side. So that's your stag position with one leg bent and one leg straight. Bring it back in and then I'm going to reach away. Now I'm going to transition straight into that stag. So bending one leg, the other leg goes out to the side. Press back into the straps to return where you started. Bend the other leg, bring it back in and press back to where you started. Controlling that reach. It's a bit of a brain exercise, this one. So taking your time, try and find that work. So we're bending one leg, straightening the other. The carriage moves, we find that stag position and then push away. And we do one more here. Press back away and hold. We're going to bring the legs parallel and just lift and lower those legs. Nice easy work here. Controlling the feet to the sky, the thighs dropping into the sockets, using your tummy muscles and buttocks to push away. We'll do two more here. And we'll take one more. And hold. So now we're going to have a little play with the full short spine. So if you don't like to do that, you can go back to this prep exercise and maybe do your prep exercise in a turn out position. So you're into that first. Otherwise, come with me. So we're reaching the legs long. We're into this turned out position. Parallel the feet, fold, and then you're going to roll through the spine, trying to find the stopper. You make your plie. Keep your heels together as you roll the spine back down towards the mat, pull the heels to the bottom, and then push the legs away back to the beginning. Parallel, fold at the hips, roll through the spine, see if you can find the stopper, plie, roll slowly down, pull the heels to the bottom first, and then press away. Two more, fold, roll, plie, roll slowly down, pull the heels to the bottom, and then push away, strong and controlled through the legs, through the spine as you roll off. There's a little bit of push down through the hands as well. Plie, control down, heels to bottom, and push away and hold. Just reach long with that one, and we'll just finish off with just a few circles just to kind of release off there. I'm just going to do 3 in each direction. You can be turned out or parallel. I've kind of gone for a parallel option here. And then reverse, take the legs out, around. So you're keeping your pelvis onto the floor, onto the carriage, I should say, just as we do these circles. Oh, there we go, that was my 3rd one. All right, so we're going to come out of the straps now, bending the knees, find the foot bar, take a rest there. I'm going to take the hands back into the straps, and we're going to try that coordination which we sort of prepped up in our little warm-up. So I'm going to pull on the straps, legs are tabletop, lift the head, lift the shoulders, and get myself organized here. Here we go. Elbows are bent, knees are bent. Everything straightens. Then I'm just going to bend the knees and then bend the elbows. Let's do that again. Everything straightens, knees, elbows. One more round. Everything straightens, knees, elbows. Here comes a change. Everything straightens. I'm going to open, close the legs, bend the knees again, and then the elbows. So we just add that little open, close, knees, elbows. Let's try 2 more rounds. Everything reaches, open, close, bend, bend. One more. Reach, open, close, bend the knees, bend the elbows, and rest. Ooh, nice. Take the straps in one hand, pivot around, come on up into sitting, change your springs again, ready for back rowing preps. So I had 2 reds on. I'm going to drop one of those reds off, and I'm going to pivot around and bring the feet out into this long position here. So if you're working on a different sort of reformer, you might find you need to cross your legs over. And in an ideal world, we want this back nice and straight. So if that's not happening for you, you might want to sit on either a platform extender or a block. So taking hold of the short straps, we're going to do a half roll back here. So I'm pulling the carriage underneath me. I'm pulling the straps, fists to the chest. I'm going to dive back over the thighs, find the stopper, kind of releasing the hands, and then reset to the upright position. Let's do that again. Roll back, hold here, then dive back over the thighs, find the stopper, and then release into the upright. I'm trying to lengthen from tail to head here. Let's do that one more time. Roll back, hold, dive over the thighs, release the straps, and re-stack into the upright. Then I'm going to just stay upright and press back with the hands and control forwards. And we'll keep going with that, just trying to stay nice and vertical through the spine. One more here, and then release and bring it all the way back. And then I'm going to bring the arms up high and sort of chop the hands back. So it's the same, but the same kind of exercise, but we're having the arms out to the side, which makes it a little trickier. Let's go 2 more here. Strong through the shoulders is what I mean when I say it's trickier. Right, nice. Let's take a rest there. Shall we try the whole exercise? So the whole choreography. Let's go slow first. So a half roll back, just as we just did. That's your first. Take the hands out to the side, and then press the hands back as you dive forwards over your thighs. So this time the hands are behind the body there a little bit. Circle the arms out and around. It's almost like the backs of the hands almost come together, and then you re-stack the spine. Let's do that again. Roll back here. Take the hands out to the side. Press the hands back as the body dives forwards. Circle the arms out and around, reaching over your feet, and then restack the spine. Exhale as you roll back. Inhale, reach the arms out to the side. Exhale, diving forwards. Inhale, circle the arms all the way around. and exhale to restack the spine. Inhale, pause at the top. Let's go again. Exhale, roll back. Inhale, reach. Exhale, press the hands back. Come up and over, reaching over the feet. And then restack the spine on the exhale. And inhale, hold there. Ha, nice. It's a really nice one once you get the pattern and the rhythm going of the choreography. So we'll pop the straps back there and then come around and come into standing to reset the reformer, ready for our next exercise. So we're going to come into a kneeling position and we're going to do down stretch as our next exercise. So I'm staying with that single red spring, bending to the knees, dropping the bottom back towards the heels, holding onto the foot bar. And I'm just going to tuck my tail and think about coming into that cat position. Push the carriage away with the thighs and then uncurl the spine, coming out into this extended cow here. And then I'm going to pull that extended cow in and press away, and then bend the knees, pulling the carriage back underneath me. My head and shoulders stay still in space at this point in time. So let's do that again. Press away, uncurl the spine, find that slightly extended cow position, and then pull the carriage in, and then return, and then bend the knees and bring it all home again. Here comes a little change. We're going to push the carriage out, uncurl that spine again, nice and controlled here. We pull in and out for 3 times this round. So that's 3, 2, last one, pressing away, and then bend the knees and control. And enjoy that feeling of tucking the tail to bring the carriage home. Control as you press out, and feel like you're drawing your tummy muscles in to control that extended cow as you're pushing that out and in. Great, last one, press away, hold, bend the knees and tuck the tail as you return. And we'll do one more here, pushing away, uncurling the spine and controlling in for 3, 2, and last one, bring it in, press away, and then bend the knees and control back in again. Lovely, coming up into a more upright position, and we're going to go into a half plank here. So I'm just keeping my shoulders over the foot bar, press away, finding that straight line, knees to shoulders, and just pushing out and in, and just getting used to that kind of movement first. Holding through the tummy muscles, especially as you push away here. And return, let's just go one more. And a return. Then just reset through the feet, because we're going to lift the knees off this time. Push down through the hands, float your knees off, push away and bring it back in. Now this one red is quite light, and I don't know if you notice, but I'm shaking a little bit as I'm pushing out and in. Good, oh, and I'm going to go one more. Pushing away and control it back in again. Then I'm going to step the feet in a little bit. I'm going to take this into an elephant. So we're going to do round back first. So pushing down through the hands and draw the tummy muscles up and in to find that round back position. Press the carriage away and control back in again. Now I quite like to do the elephant at quite a slow pace to really feel like I've got control as I'm deepening the tail tuck here to pull the carriage back in. You can of course do this at a quicker pace, and you can have more spring. Nice, I prefer the lighter spring. I feel like it's less compressive into the spine, and I'm just really focusing in on the control as I pull the carriage back in. Flat back is next, lifting the coccyx a little bit higher, flat as you can through the spine, and again push away, controlling the carriage in. Really smiling your sit bones out behind you as the carriage returns, and you get that lovely length through the spine, through the, we do want length through the spine, but we also want length through the hamstrings as you pull the carriage in. Eccentric control through the hamstrings. Last 2, And one. I'm going to pull into the stopper and hold. That's quite a nice stretch. There's the stopper. Quite a nice stretch in and of itself as I'm just trying to pull the carriage in. And then see if you can lift the toes as well for that big back of the body stretch there. And then release those back down again. Good. And then we're going to come off and come into a kneeling position. And we'll work with, I've got a magic circle here. So let's work with that and we'll do a spine twist with the magic circle. So we're going to drop down to a blue spring here. So it's a bit of a lighter, you can see it's lighter, so be careful as you come on. I'm going to come into a kneeling position and I'm going to take the circle against my breastbone here, turn towards the risers, give it a little pull, wrap that strap around, just kind of hold it on. Let the armpits drop, grow tall, try and keep your pelvic headlights facing forwards if you can, and then twist, working against the spring. And I'm feeling like I'm working my waist muscles here as I'm finding the length through the spine. Good. I'm gonna go for another 2 after this one. Here we go, come on. 2. And a 1. And then release. And then I'm going to drop that spring down, the strap down. And actually I can just, I'm going to pop it there, I think, just for safety. I was going to balance it on my calves there, but I think perhaps I won't. All right, so I'm going to put this hand onto the hip. Again, turn slightly towards the risers here, holding onto this strap, and then I'm going to pull up and across and then release back down. And I like to follow the head kind of with the strap here. So you can stay facing, keeping the chest facing forwards, and then you can add some rotation. So I turn and look and almost pulling the strap slightly across my body as I'm rotating here. And I'm going to go 2 more. Reach, control back. So this is backhand or draw a sword. It's the name of the exercise. And then release. Find the stopper, loop that back around. We're going to turn around to do the other side. Got my circle with me. Kneeling onto the carriage, into the middle. You could, if you want a bit more stability, bring the thigh up against the shoulder rest, if that feels better for you. So taking hold of the circle again, I'm going to loop the strap around that handle, set myself up, armpits drop, and then twist. Now the idea of adding the circle in is that it tries to kind of fix everything from the waist above, so I can just turning this whole unit. Otherwise it can quite often turn into an arm exercise, and we want this to be a waist exercise. So you want to feel like you're rotating your rib cage almost on your spine. Last 2. And 1. Great. And then we'll release. Let those strap and the circle separate. I'm going to pop my circle just down here, taking hold of the strap into this hand. This hand's going to go on my hip, and then I'm going to come up and across into that back hand. And I do like to turn the head with that. Nice. Maybe it's too much. I always feel like I want to point the finger and do a bit of Saturday Night Fever here. Oh dear, right, okay, let's keep that going. Last 2. And 1. And release all the way back. Nice. Let's turn around. We're going to do some reverse expansion now. So I'm going to lift up both straps. I'm going to keep it down to that single blue spring, turning around all the way onto the niche, feet against the shoulder rest. I'm going to sort of drop back here onto your bottom to change your straps and grip those and feel safer, because in this upright position with the arms behind you, it's a little challenging on the balance. So make sure you feel nice and strong and controlled. Reach up. Now remember to control the release. That's the danger zone. As the carriage comes back towards the stopper, there's a tendency to just let go. So keep reaching out into the straps all the time. These hands are just coming forwards and returning. I'm going to do one more here, forwards and return. Good, we're going to do teardrops out. So forwards, take the hands out a little bit and then drop them down. So you're making a teardrop, and the teardrop is in front of the body. The arms don't come behind the line of the body on this. You're really controlling here. Nice, and then let's reverse. Out, around, forwards and down. Out, around, forwards and down. We've got one more. Out, around, forwards and down. We're going to bring the arms up in front of you again. Bring the arms all the way up above the head. We're going to do salute or shaving the back of the head. So reaching the hands along, strong through the center. Let the elbows bend and then straighten. So keep your biceps just kind of framing your cheeks here. I can see my elbows in my peripheral vision, and I'm trying to just focus into that tricep work as I straighten the elbows. I almost think of I'm going from, I've got bunny ears and then really reaching the arms long and straight. And we got a couple more here. Nice, let's go one more. Feels nice and strong through the arms, it feels good. And then controlling all the way back to the stopper. Find the stopper, take a little rest there. And then we're going to come off and pop the loops back over the straps. I'm just going to scoot this circle out of the way. I don't want to trip over it. All right, I'm going to have a little play with a snake prep. So I'm standing on the diagonal. So the full snake would be your feet will come up onto the foot bar, but we're going to do a prep from the floor. So I'm standing on the floor, facing sort of into the diagonal, into that opposite shoulder rest. I'm going to reach down, take hold of the shoulder rest, and the other hand's coming over the side. Just check what sort of reformer you've got in terms of getting fingers caught. So just be aware of that as you're working. I'm sort of sticking my bottom out here, sort of a bit like a sideways down dog. I'm going to come up onto my toes and then press the carriage out and return. So I've still got that one blue on, I should say. So it's a little bit of work for me to pull the carriage back. So feel that as you're working away. And just adjust your foot position if you need to. We're going to make a little change here. We come out to this plank position. I'm going to hold, push the carriage away with my arms, and then return. Push the carriage away with my arms, go back to where it was. One more, and then return. One more little change, push out. I'm going to hold here, and then I'm just going to try and shine my breastbone light forwards, and then bring it back into my chest. So the breastbone comes forwards, and then I'm pulling the breastbone down towards my pubic bone. I'm going to do one more, really controlling through the spine as I'm working, and then control all the way back. Release. Let's come on around, do the other side. So standing on that slight diagonal here, hand reaches down, the other one comes to the side of the reformer. So one hand on the shoulder rest, the other hand to the side of the reformer, up onto the toes, push out. So you're kind of like a half plank here, diagonal half plank. And you might need to adjust your feet as well, especially if you end up getting quite tangled up with the runners. Although you might find that you touch the runners anyway a little bit with the shin. Good. Here comes that change. Push out, hold. Strong through the center as you push further with the arms, then bring it back underneath you. So I really got to control through my torso, through my legs as I'm pushing out and in, and then return. Final round, pushing out, hold, and then just shining your breastbone light forwards and then return. So breastbone light reaches forwards, and then think about pulling that breastbone light back into your belly again. And one more. So really almost exaggerate that tummy muscle action. And then a return. Whew. Nice, all the way back up again. So we're going to finish this off with some knee stretches and then a nice stretch at the end. So I'm going to come down and I'm going to drop this down a notch here onto the foot bar, and I'm going to add myself some springs, and I think I'm going to go for 2 red, and I'm going to drop that 1 blue off. So I now have 2 red. Feet back against the shoulder rests here, dropping the bottom back towards the heels. A bit like the elephant, we're going to go round back and straight back. So first off into the round back, almost pushing against the shoulder rest here and then pulling in. Now this one I like with that dynamic movement, keeping the round back, and I'm really controlling as I'm pulling the carriage in. And I've got to control the recoil, control the deceleration of the springs with my quads. Last 3, 2, 1. Take a moment's rest. Come on up. Then press back into a flat back. Reset, wide collarbones. Let's go again. Push away and then pull in. So now I'm flat through the back. I'm trying to really fold at the hips to bring the carriage in rather than tucking the tail. And again, nice and strong through those quads to control this strong dynamic movement of the carriage. Last 2 and 1. Oh, and take a rest there. Come on up, give those thighs, give those wrists a bit of a shake. And actually, let's just hold into this position, almost pressing the pelvis forwards, pulling the pubic bone up your nose. And let's open the chest as well. We've done a lot sort of pushing down and forwards. So bring the hands onto your butt. Almost use that to tuck your tail, and then open the chest, pulling the shoulders or the elbows towards each other. And then take a release there. We're going to do a single thigh stretch. So we're going to bring one foot up and through and onto the foot bar here. If this is too strong for you, too much of a deep hip flexion, you could always put the foot down onto one of the runners or even use the platform extender. So I'm going to stay here though, pushing out with both legs and then control the return. Pushing out with both legs and then lift through the return. And as I push away, I get that lovely strong stretch through both legs, hamstrings on that front leg, quads, hip flexors on the other side, and almost get more of a hip flexor stretch as well as I can pull the carriage in. I'm going one more. Reach it all the way in. Hold here. Same hand onto this front knee. Same hand as the kneeling knee is going to lift, and then just again pull that pubic bone up your nose to feel the reach from the hand to that kneeling knee. Hands down, we switch and do the other side. Foot comes up, here we go. Get that even press for an even stretch. Hamstrings, quads, hip flexors, just feels lovely. This is one of my favorite stretches. Pushing out. Hands do push. Think about your tummy muscles almost leading the movement. And I like to think about that kneeling side, butt working a little bit to get that press back and get open through the hips. Oh, that feels so nice. All right, return to the stopper. Same hand onto this front knee. Same hand as kneeling knee reaches. Drop the armpit, pubic bone pulls up the nose. Find your balance. Good, and reach from the kneeling knee to that reaching hand. Oh, nice. Land everything back down again. Ooh. And well done. We are done. For those of you that are interested in what I'm wearing today, I have a high-low Tabby Noir top on, and it's in ebony with a gold snake print. And then my leggings are also Tabby Noir, and they are high-waisted 7/8 in gold metallic.